I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, stand away. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing so much better than I deserve. How are you?
I'm great. Stan, you have one of those names that podcasters love. Like, sometimes, wow, some names are really challenging. Like it puts you in a quandary. But seeing Stan Way, I felt like, yes, we can be friends forever.
Yes, well, and I love your name. It sounds angelic. It just the way it is, and your voice. Like I've become addicted to your podcast. It's my new favorite thing.
Wow, I appreciate that tremendously. Now we're going to have Stan on the way now, right? So let's see how this goes.
All right.
Well, Stan, tell me, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am located in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, sweet. Well, Stan, which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
Yeah, so you reached out to me probably in regards to the fact that I am a pretty well-known sales coach for different Fortune 100 companies, companies large and small, and I help a lot of business professionals kind of overcome the mental mindset blocks that hold them back from becoming what they're meant to be.
That's fascinating. Now, being a salesman in itself definitely has its challenges, and you are the person who is not only the salesman who did it, but you're actually helping others do it, right? Which is wow. It's a wow, right? For you to do what you're doing. Who did you learn that skill from? That skill of being able to attain a skill and then to teach others the skill.
Yeah, so it's funny, I kind of fell into sales because at the age of 21, all of my best friends were in college and getting really deep into student loans, and I had a wonderful stepfather who gave me a couple of books, Think and Grow Rich, and then another one that really just changed my whole life. And I got into insurance sales, and it was funny, within 3 months. I guess I just had a knack for connecting with people, and I became a corporate sales trainer. And the reason being that I become successful and I've been able to do it is because I think sales is done in the wrong way, and that it's still being done in 20th century, really pushy, hard sales, hardcore closing kind of ways. And that's not my goal. My goal is to teach people to have a servant's heart and, work from a core of integrity. And, it really does. The companies I work with, I brought on a new client a week and a half ago that in the last week, they've changed some things, and their closing ratio has increased by 26%. Wow. by not being pushy. So, it's a whole different way to approach things. And I'm kind of like a hippie, everyone calls me like some hippie guy, but I'm from Alabama. No, I just want to make the world a better place. And I think, when you're good, you can do that.
I love that. You said something to the beginning of the podcast. Usually it's said by a particular tribe. You said you're better than you deserve. Are you familiar with Dave Ramsey?
I know who he is.
Okay.
I know Dave, but no, I'm not too familiar with him.
Okay, no. Usually his tribe says, better than I deserve. So I thought you were associated with what he did in terms of finances. So I'm wrong. It's cool. I'm wrong sometimes. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I was wrong once. I don't ever want to do it again.
Why will you continue to repeat this skill, Stan? The skill of going against the grain of what is the hard sales, to teach what is definitely that build a relationship type model.
Yeah, I will do this for the rest of my life. I'll never retire because I'm one of the few people in the world that's blessed with the opportunity to do what I love. And I teach sales because I want people to be able to make a living. A job is just a job, but if you can work at sales, ultimately it can be one of the most rewarding, high-paying careers in the world. And most people aren't passionate about their job or sales, but if you can be good at sales, you can make enough money to actually live your purpose and do what you're passionate about. So you can volunteer for that after school program. You can help some underprivileged youth in your area. If you're good at sales, you can do so much more out of that 30, 35, 40 hours in your work week, and you can serve the world. And that's what I want to do. I want to help people make more money working from a core of integrity.
What's the best place for us to connect with what you do, Stan?
Yeah, the best place would be my home base, which is peaksalesresults.com.
Love it. Amazing audience. We are live here with Stan. Stan, please do tell me, what is one thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
I read a lot. Typically like 3 to 5 books a week.
A week? Wow. How does that make you feel?
The more I learn, the more I realize how little I actually know.
Humility. So what types of books are you reading in this span of time?
I do not read any nonfiction. I read a lot of biographies, autobiographies, but business books, a lot of science books and brain science kind of books, because I think it's important, to understand why we're programmed the way we are, and try to, life hack everything to make our bodies, our minds, everything work a little bit better.
Yeah, you have me intrigued. Like, I want to ask more. So what's one thing that sticks out right now in what you're reading, that a particular topic then?
Yeah, so one thing that I love, and you may be familiar with Mel Robbins. She talks about the 5-second rule a lot. Yeah. But it's just the fact that we are programmed as these physical beings to not do things that are risky or that involve fear. Yeah. And so many entrepreneurs, so many people probably that listening to this podcast right now, they're waiting for some sort of outside inspiration or motivation to get them to take that next step in their life or in their business. And when you really understand that, hey, motivation's good, but your brain's trying to trick you. If you can just kind of push through and realize that there is no motivating factor, what you're going to do is you're going to be able to reprogram your mind to do some really amazing things. And the more you do that, the more you reprogram yourself, and the more successful you become in whatever you're pursuing.
I love it. What Stan is saying is so amazing. I would say though, like there is pain, right? So I was going to say there are pain factors that occur, right? But there is pain. Like, that would be my side warning to what Stan just said. But
yes,
through that pain, there will be growth. It's necessary, right, to time stamp over what occurs, right? To let it be known to the body, hey, this is a learning process. This is change. Pain is the marker. But most definitely, there's so much you learn afterwards. Stan, you are amazing. Let's switch gears. This is going to be fun. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Stan, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Ooh, that is an excellent question. I think one of my earliest childhood memories is being with my mom and my dad, who would leave shortly thereafter in this memory in my life. But, I remember just being with them in the kitchen, playing with a little toy train when I was a little boy. And it was nighttime. It was about time for bed. And it was just one of the sweetest moments. Like, I remember how warm and safe I felt. I think that's my first memory.
How old do you think you were?
I had to have been probably just about 3.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Ooh, that is a good question. This is you're getting deep. I love this. I think it's because shortly thereafter my father would leave, and that would influence my whole life. We grew up in really, just a poverty-ridden situation, and my father would be in and out of prison, really the rest of his life. And, I just really, I remember that feeling, just how good it was. And so I think, each day, I try to recreate that feeling for myself and for others.
Yeah. So this train, is it something that's going around in a circle constantly?
No, the train, it was funny. I don't even know. It was a little metal train, and I don't know where my dad got it from. It was made out of like little pieces of scrap metal, and someone had welded them together. And I have it here in my office, actually.
Wow. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yeah, it is. The interpretation, I think, it's the fact that life is a journey.
Oh,
you know?
really? You figured it out yourself too? Like you interpreted it? Wow. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think, we're all on a journey, and we're in charge of wherever we take it. And there's not really a right or wrong as long as we're serving others.
Wow. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Please, please, please.
I love the idea of it being something that is created from other things that may seem to be things that other people may have thrown away. And the fact that in life you are consistently, with a mix of constantly learning and adding pieces to who you are, and then using that to get to the places you need to get to. And in so doing, the train model being the transportation of many, you're helping others get to the place they want to get to. All from this model of Stan that is being built by what he's learning, the scrap metal, if you would.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Ooh, when I was 12, it had to have been, and please don't judge me. It was Garth Brooks, I Have Friends in Low Places.
There we go. You know, Stan, it's fascinating to me how these things connect, right? Like, I mean, your father got someone to weld this thing together, right? It's like, it could seem like low places, right? But you had friends in low places, right?
Yeah, I think we all do. And I think, sometimes, we're all in low places, but we're all trying to get back up and lift each other up.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Stan, we have arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. Stan, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, definitely. My children, I want them to have a higher mindset. Yeah. And kind of just live their passions, and literally anyone I can work with. I try to just distill every ounce of everything I have to everyone.
Are you married?
I am happily.
How many children do you have?
2, a 3-year-old wonderful little son, and a wonderful 1-year-old little girl.
Wow. There's a ball party going on at your home.
Yes, all the time. It is always a...
Do you believe in God?
I do believe in a higher power, yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I actually do not connect with many people outside of professionalism, no.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Probably not 3 hours in a month.
Wow. What about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
During the weekdays, probably about 8, but on the weekends, almost nothing.
Stan, after 1001 conversations, and this is what I was speaking about, the pain. Like, you sit to have these conversations, your butt gets numb, right? But I came up with a workbook called Yours, and it stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. But connected to that is your own unique real statement. If you had to share with us a statement that represents who you are, Stan Way, what would you say that is?
I would say that statement is and it sounds cliche, but live your passion and don't give up.
I love it. Stanway, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I mean, really just what I said. I think so many people hold themselves back, and they claim their circumstances as if it's their identity, when in reality it's just circumstances. Everyone that, we all look up to people, but everyone that we all look up to went through the pain and the hard times, kind of like you've talked about, but they just kind of they keep on keeping on. Yeah. And there's lessons in that.
Love it. Stan, we thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.